Alright guys, for today's lesson we're going to be dealing with types of quadrilaterals. So first up, what is a quadrilateral? It's a type of 2D shape with four sides. It has to have four sides to be a quadrilateral. This prefix quad means four. That's why it's called a quadrilateral. So e.g. squares and kites, etc. They're types of quadrilaterals. They have four sides. The angle sum of a quadrilateral, that's a phrase you need to remember. The interior angles of a quadrilateral always add to 360. So like these four angles here, A, B, C, and D, they add up to 360 always. No matter what sort of shape this looks like, if there's four sides, the angle sum is going to be 360. A diagonal. So a diagonal is the imaginary line from one corner of a shape to the opposite corner. So like from this corner to this corner, they're opposite corners. This dotted line here, this imaginary line, that is what you call the diagonal. There's also another diagonal from this point to this point. So each quadrilateral will have two diagonals, as you can see from this diagram. The word bisect. The bisect means to cut something into two equal halves. So like if you cut, say, a pizza in half, you've pretty much bisected that pizza, if that makes sense. Okay, so rules to remember. Specific quadrilaterals are defined by their properties. So what I'm pretty much getting with this statement is that, like first up, like up the top of this diagram, we've got quadrilaterals. Now that's literally any four-sided shape. But say if I go into more detail with my quadrilateral and I tell you that one pair of sides are parallel, or one pair of parallel sides, like you can see here, these two sides are parallel. That's a pair of parallel sides. Suddenly it becomes a more specific shape. It becomes a trapezium. So a trapezium is literally any four-sided shape that has one pair of parallel sides. Over here you get a kite if you have two pairs of adjacent equal sides. So remember, adjacent means next to. See how we've got these two equal sides next to each other? And we've got that happening again down here. If that's the case, you've got a kite. That's how it works. So pretty much a kite is defined by literally this sort of condition, this sort of property. Next up, if you have two pairs of parallel sides, you suddenly will get a parallelogram, which kind of looks something like this. If you have, say, a kite, but it has all equal sides, suddenly you get a rhombus. So a rhombus is pretty much any quadrilateral which has all equal sides. That's how it works. If you, say, have a parallelogram, but one of the angles is a right angle, therefore that gets all your angles are right angles, suddenly you get a rectangle. So a rectangle is pretty much just a parallelogram with right angles in the corner. If you have a rectangle but all the sides are equal, suddenly you'll get a square because you've got these right angles and you've also got all equal side lengths. So pretty much this is sort of the definitions for these different types of quadrilaterals. And these pictures do help you out as well. So like for example, a square is technically, like a square is all the way down the bottom. A square is technically a type of rhombus, a type of rectangle, a type of parallelogram. If I work my way up, it's a type of kite, it's a type of trapezium, it's a type of quadrilateral, because a square actually like follows all these sorts of properties, if that makes sense. Okay, let's do an example question. So determine the value of the unknown pronumeral showing reasoning. So here we've got 2x plus 10, we've got 180 take away x, we've got x, we've got 70. We need to be able to figure out this value of x. What does x equal? So the idea is that all four of these angles have to add up to 360 because it's a quadrilateral. So when we do that plus that plus that plus that, all four sides. Make sure you show your reasoning for it equaling 360, angle sum of a quadrilateral, because we needed to show our reasoning. Now, with this equation, we need to simplify this left-hand side. We need to add like terms. So 2x and minus x and plus x. So like 2x, taking away x, that leaves us with 1x. But then we plus another one. So that brings us back to 2x. And then we've got 10 plus 180, that's 190, plus 70, that's going to be 260, and that is still equal to 360. So now we've got this simpler equation. We need to now get x by itself. So we're going to minus 260 from both sides to cancel out those two. 2x equals now 100. We're going to divide by 2 to cancel off that 2 right there. And 100 divided by 2, that equals 50. So x is going to be equal to 50. That is our final answer. Tick. Hope this helps with the questions. Good luck.